Good morning, teachers. Morning.
Morning po.
Thank you. Good
Morning po,
morning.
ma'am.
Morning. Okay, let's have our system check first. May I ask for a like react if you can hear me clearly, if you can hear my voice? Okay, that's great. How about the others? Okay. How about a heart react if you can see the screen I'm sharing? You see this classroom? Okay, that's great. How about the others? Okay. Okay, let's have our prayer first before we start. May I ask Sir Jomar to lead us in prayer? You may unmute, sir. Can you start now, sir?
Are you ready to please for the wonderful? I think this is gonna be a one creative and productive day with you and with our family. Bless us, peers, and our 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 thanks you for every every day. And bless our quest to it, Lord. Amen.
In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you, Sir Jomar, for a prayer of blessing, right, and provision as well. Thank you. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, now let's have our screenshot or class picture. Please turn on your videos for now. If you can stay with me, if you are connected to Wi-Fi connection, I think it's better if you stay with me. Okay, I noticed that we are few today. Maybe, right, they encounter what internet connection problem, or maybe some of your classmates are in the province and they're affected by the typhoon. Okay, we are only 11 today. Ma'am Claire, Sir Mark, you may turn on your video, and Sir Clinton. Okay, let's start. I will count in 3 seconds. One, two, three. Smile. Okay, that will do. Thank you. I would like to greet Sir Eugene a belated happy birthday. You celebrated your birthday, right?
Thank you po, ma'am.
How was it?
Opo.
How's the pandemic birthday celebration?
Okay naman po. Yeah.
It's so we speak of
Bati-bati.
for you. Yeah. Okay. Happy birthday, Sir Eugene.
Thank
Okay,
you
let's
po.
have yeah, welcome. Okay. How about our human check? Can you give me one word feeling in the chat right now? Whatever you're feeling sleepy because it's too early, of course, that's understandable. You feel what, grateful, you feel glad that we're still alive today because of the grace of God. Please type a one word feeling in the chat. Thank you. Not okay, we declare healing. We speak of healing for you, Ma'am Nadaline. By the way, if you really can't stay with us because you're not feeling well, you may leave the room. It's fine. You have to take your rest. Okay, health first. Feeling blessed. Okay, thank you, Claire, for that. How about the others? Okay, you're feeling blessed. How about the others? What are you feeling? Are you feeling hungry? Make sure you have a bread beside you, or you've taken your breakfast. That's better. Okay, or have your tumbler beside you as well. Okay. Feeling Shopee. So I have here a fellow Shopeaholic, Sir Van. Okay, so you may want to share, right? The things. Maybe that's also the reason what you lack sleep, or people feel sleepy today because of Shopee 1111. Feeling hungry. Okay, feeling Shopee. Okay, I don't know, but yeah, Shopee feels us, that even though you know literally that we don't have enough money to, right, to purchase. We still purchase anyway because of the free shipping, the coins cashback, and all. Feeling happy. That's great to hear, Sir Eugene. About the others, who among you are my fellow Shopee holic as well? How about for Lazada? But I don't use Lazada anymore, even though Limino is there. Feeling anxious. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's 11:11. Okay, thank you, teachers, for sharing what you feel. Again, I pray and declare for comfort for those who aren't feeling well, who feel anxious or exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, even socially, right? Maybe until now, what some of you still what feels and nervous, right? It's understandable, or we're not used to it, even though we already had a lot of meetings. But yeah, that's inevitable. That's an inevitable feeling. So again, good morning, teachers. And as we start, let's have our recall. Okay, who can share with us, okay, the things you learned last meeting or your experience in accomplishing the assessment activities? Did you enjoy what making your introductory video, your the blog? Maybe you already established the desire to share the content you like to share with others that you don't do much before. Anyone? Can you give me one number from 1 to 5, Sir J? You just have to raise your finger. Okay, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ma'am. Okay. Ma'am Claire, you may unmute. Can you share with us, okay, what you learned last meeting or simply the experience of accomplishing the assessment task? By the way, I made it, okay, live on YouTube, but it's unlisted. So in case you get you get disconnected, you may go to the YouTube link in the chat. However, if it's time for our breakout session, please re-enter so you can join the activity. Are you there, Ma'am Claire?
Di po yata. Correspondence po siya.
Okay. Okay. So again, it's just a suggestion that for you also not to feel anxious about being late, right? In terms of the pacing, and given that you are, you know, joining us in the video conference sessions, I think it's better if you will do it right at the right pace. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, right, the members of the correspondence team haven't received their module. So thank you for your patience and understanding, and yeah, thank you for just what browsing the module, the soft copy rather. Okay, thank you. How about Sir Eugene? Would you like to share with us your insights from last meeting's discussion as well as your experience?
Yung assessment namin
Yes.
po, ma'am. Sige po. Yung sa assessment po, palagi naman po creative yung activity na pinapagawa po. Kaya siguro na-explore ko yung mga bagay na hindi ko masyadong ginagawa, like yung video, kasi hindi po masyado sa video. Pero yung sa writing naman po, okey naman po yun, kasi medyo nagsusulat naman. Pero yung sa video po, medyo parang na-test yung ano ko po dun,
But confident.
kailangan ko gawin para mag-isip ng concept. Kasi parang ngayong pandemic hindi po nahihirapan ako sa concepts, ma'am.
Okay, but
Kaya okey po yun.
yeah, great.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. Okay, especially it's no doubt that you're really great in writing. I've even read your, outputs in terms of composition, and you really have what great eye and great, wide vocabulary in terms of that. So, yeah, I thank you for appreciating, right, the opportunities that you can really explore other things and go or step beyond your comfort zone. So, thank you, Sir Eugene. How about?
Sige po.
Thank you. How about Sir Clinton? Are you there?
Opo, ma'am. Nandito po.
Mhm. Yes. How's your experience with the assessment task?
Sa akin po ma'am, mas lalo
Sorry. Sorry. Please unmute. Okay.
Do you hear me po, ma'am?
Yes, yes, we can hear you now.
Amin po, sa akin po parang kasi I'm correspondence mode of learning din po. Pero yung iba po nasasabayan ko naman po, nakakapagsagot naman po ako sa ano, sa binigay niyo pong IM.
Mm-hmm.
Parang parang dun po sa ano, sa Banghay Aral, parang mas lalo pa po kaming umi-improve
Mm-hmm.
gumawa ng Banghay Aral po.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yun
Thank you
po.
for that. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so do not be afraid to take risks. That's one thing here. Okay, how about last one? Ma'am Ira?
Morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Sa ano po, sa pa-assessment po, yung sa activity 1 to 3, parang ano, gets ko naman po, pero parang nahirapan ako lalong i-explain kasi hindi ako masyadong maano sa English. Yung parang ang dami kong gustong sabihin, pero yun, nauudlot po. Tapos pero sa activity 7 po dun sa pagvi-video, okay naman, pero hindi po kasi ako sanay sa camera. Yung
Mm.
nagre-record po ako, parang natatawa po ako sa sarili ko, kaya wala po ako natatapos. Kaya nakailang take din po ako.
Yeah, that's normal, right? And everybody experiences that if that especially if that's their first time, right? That's
Opo. Kaya sa pag-edit naman po yun, hindi rin po kasi ako sanay sa
mm,
pag-edit. Pero okay naman po kasi na-explore ko naman yung editing skills ko.
yeah, see?
So yun.
Right? I mean, we all
Hindi
have
naman.
those hidden, technical skills, right? You just have to
Eh,
explore and don't be afraid to click anything that you see, whatever that hyperlink is. So, exploration. So, that is something to do also
ah,
our discussion today. Thank you, Ma'am Ira.
opo. Sige
Okay,
po.
thank you, thank you. Okay, now let's start with a game. Let's play. Okay, please go to joinmyquiz.com and then enter the join code. This is a quizzes app or game. So let's have this, some sort of diagnostic quiz here online. I'll wait for you there. Okay, sad dami pang gustong sabihin pero wag na lang muna. Is that a song lyric? By the way, if that's your situation or clamor, you may still use since that's your major or field of specialization. I know that you really would like to improve your English communication skills, but when it comes to expressing your ideas, you may add them right together with your English. I will understand that. So at least right, you can give me comprehensive answers. Okay, so next time you can do that. Okay, let's now go to joinmyquiz.com, or you need to type that here and then enter the code 355667. Okay, one is already there. I heard the notification. Okay, we have one. I hope we need to be 12 there or 11. But the others, two, we already have two participants there. Four. Okay, take your time. Okay, before I start again. So this is simply a diagnostic test before we dig deeper into our topic today. Okay, five participants are there. Six. Okay. Mhm. Take your time. So you may minimize, don't worry, if you're using smartphone or mobile phone, you may minimize the app and then go to your browser. It's also better, of course, if you have a different gadget. So seven, we already have seven here. Okay. Now our live dashboard, at least three more. Mhm. More. Okay, so the code is 355667. We have eight. May I ask if you also hear the notification sound? Sir Van, do you hear it? Okay. 9 participants. Thank you, Sir Eugene. Last one, at least. Mhm. Okay. So join myquiz.com with code. Okay, we can start now. Okay.
Tumamba, tumamba.
Congratulations, Mark. Getting the first spot, and then Joel, second place,
Hindi ko
and
marinig si ma'am.
Eugene. Okay, sorry. Congratulations, everyone. So, as you can see, right? Okay, let me share the screen now. Okay, may I hear your experience with the quiz? What do you mean chumamba lang, Mark?
Ma'am, nung unang mga tanong, akala ko, tawag doon, hindi kailangan magmadali.
Oh,
May score din pala yung pagmamadali sa pagsagot.
time.
Ayun, edi mas binigyan ko ng focus yung pagsagot. Kasi ina-identify ko pa, sabi ko wala nang identify, tumingin sa Santos. Ayun.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So as you notice, okay, you got the first spot. How about the content of it, Sir Mark? Easy, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's
More
big.
on hardware na ano.
Okay, correct. You got the word. Okay, those are the hardware, right, or parts of a computer, and basically, it's computer is beyond, right, the hardware, beyond the parts. So majority got perfect score. Right, let me check the scoreboard. All of you. Wow, congratulations. All right, let me check. Let me scroll first. Sorry. Okay, one, got mistake on question number 6. Okay, maybe it's just a matter of and 8. Okay, and 8. Maybe it's about what? The pressing, the clicking of the option. I think that's where you, but I understand that you know the topic. So what happened there? So we have 6, 8, 9. I mean number 10 as well. Okay, it's just, yeah, the CPU. Okay. So as you notice, right, you're correct, Sir Mark. Thank you for echoing your analysis of the game. Yes, those are the parts. And again, today, we'll not anymore dig deeper into the hardware because, of course, you're all familiar with the hardware. Okay, let me ask for a like react. If you had a computer subject before, okay, wow, great. Oh, you are blessed, right, to experience that. I mean, of course, in this generation, I mean, the time you first, right, encounter a computer, right, you already have computer subjects. So, again, Echo, this is a quizzes app. Can you give me like react again if you have used or at least explored? Have you explored the quizzes app? Okay, great, sir. How about the others? So again, I mean, those questions are already there. So you may reuse them or you may create your own template. So let's start. Okay, so for our discussion outline or objectives, you will explain how computer can be used to its full educative potential. You will also elaborate the precise nature of computers' roles as tutor, tool, and tutor through its implications for teaching practice, teacher training, classroom and school organization, hardware, and of course, software design. You will also determine effects of the computer on the curriculum and instruction. So it's more of really educational technology. Identify proper roles of the computer vis-a-vis direct experience and discuss computer's implications for educational hardware and software about teaching practice as rooted in the psychology of a teacher from the perspective of a teacher. So today, we'll talk about computers as the third revolution in education, but later on we'll also, you know, talk about fourth revolution because as you know, right, if you already know, right, we are already on the fourth point zero, right, industry revolution. So in this case, right, you notice, right, that our schools, all institutions, public and private, are already shifting towards a paradigm, a new paradigm of lifelong learning. It's not anymore just focusing on the lower order thinking skills, but mostly on the higher order thinking skills and focusing on transfer, how students can transfer learning, right, to their, to the actual world, right, and definitely to all their walks of life in order to address, right, the demands of today's economy. And these computers have, a sole purpose or a part, right, to play in this opportunity. But in order for us to understand such, expectations, we must place our eyes or focus our eyes on the center of introducing computers or hardware, software to our classrooms, to our students, to be specific, and on the basic problems about how students learn and what and how we can teach them effectively using the integration of technology. Okay, and yeah, in this lesson, we will elaborate the role of computers as third and fourth revolution in education. And you might already know these concepts, right? But still important to familiarize ourselves with these technological advancements. So, are you familiar with the term computer phobia? Can you give me wow react if you haven't heard this before, or like react because later you'll see an engram of this. But like react if you are familiar with this term, and wow react if okay. So great. So yeah, computer phobia refers to, right, your experience of resistance, sometimes with fear, right, with anxiety whenever you it starts first with your fear of physically touching the computer or of damaging it and what's inside it. Let me share with you my very first encounter, and I can vividly recall it when I first touched a computer in a computer shop. If you can recall, or if I'm not told to share this, maybe you're familiar with the yellowish cathode ray tube monitor and the yellowish keyboard. Okay, great, thank you. Okay, that was I was in grade 5 when I first touched it. And then because that was my first time, my grade 5 classmate invited me to go to this computer shop. I can still recall where the computer shop was located that time, but it's not anymore there. Okay, and we were grade 5. I was in front of this PC, I mean computer, and the software that was introduced to me was, of course, Yahoo Messenger. Okay, so can you give me haha react if you're also what part of that generation where Yahoo Messenger was a thing? Okay, so only Sir Van. Okay, Sir Eugene as well. So again, I didn't know what to touch. I didn't know what to click. So at first, I was so hesitant to touch it, to click anything. And then I asked my classmate, what should I do? Or what should I click? And then she said, just click anything there. And then I started creating my account. And just randomly, I thought of username girl underscore 1684. Right now, I don't have any more access to the mail. And then just randomly, I didn't even know where I got the 1684. Okay. And then after that, of course, password. I didn't know the password needs to be, personalized, or I didn't know. So I asked again my classmate, so what's your password? And then she told me, I'm user. So since my username is girl underscore 1684, my password was I'm girl. So hers was I'm user. So mine is I'm girl. So very, I don't know. That's a very first experience I had. And yeah, at first it's not that I was really afraid of breaking it. Maybe there was an idea, because or maybe something might happen inside it, or right in the software. But it's really a matter of exploration, and you are blessed, right, for those who said that you had computer subject before. While in my case, the public school where I graduated from started a computer subject, or had a computer room year after I graduated. So very blessed, right? I didn't experience having computer subject. I was just exposed to it, not really exposed actually, but just introduced to it during my ICT class at PUP, so college. And yeah, and I started being so curious about computers and the software and the games. So that is the reason. Okay, my first choice was IT. Okay, so I really want to explore. I wasn't anymore afraid of clicking all the hyperlinks. I was even the one who introduced Farmville to the family. So and but I'm not. Yeah, I don't get easily addicted. Right? I don't get addicted to games. So I just explore it, and then afterward, I will not be the one to stay, right, playing that game. I just want to experience it. So who among you had that experience, or when? Right? When was the first time you literally and physically touch a computer, and what did you feel? Anyone? You may click raise a hand so I can entertain you. Okay. Thank you, Ma'am Ira. You may unmute.
Nung ano po morning ma'am,
Morning.
nung grade 4 po,
Wow.
unang-una ko pong nahawakan. Pero yung medyo kinabahan po ako yung sa mouse kasi hindi ko po alam na may arrow po pala yun. Akala ko kusa na po siyang,
Okay.
yung tawag dito.
So you're
Basta hindi ko pa po alam nun po.
you're referring to the cursor, right?
Opo.
Okay.
Tas dun din po ako nag-start, mga grade 5 to natuto na ako mag-Facebook, tas naglalaro lang Tetris, ganun lang.
Okay. Thank you. What did you feel? Did you feel okay?
Kinabahan po ako nun kasi patago lang ako nagko-computer sa mama ko.
Okay, and the computer was in a computer shop?
Opo.
Okay, okay.
Hindi po alam.
Yeah, thank you, Ma'am Ira. So again, that's a different source of what fear, right? Because that's meaning it's not really what so open. I mean, our parents are not really so open about it, right? We always had that notion when students or the youth are inside a computer shop, they're just playing, they're not even studying. But now it became a necessity. I can say that, right, Ma'am Ira? And when it comes to the cursor, it is there as well. Okay, and yeah, grade 4 you experience it. How about the others? Who else would like to share their first encounter with it? During my time, we didn't have Facebook. It was just Friendster. Sir Eugene,
Ano po,
hello.
yung first encounter ko po sa computer, masaya po kasi si papa po mismo nagdala sa akin sa computer shop.
Wow.
Nung kasi nung 2008 po, I guess video games era po yun, eh.
Mm.
Nahihiya po ako nun ay, nag-aagawan kami ni papa palagi sa video games. Kaya parang gabi po nun that time, dinalan niya ako sa computer shop para i-try lang. Ta's dun ko nalaman ang dami palang game sa computer. Yun, 15 pa yun, eh, 15. Ang mahal pa po nun sa'min 15.
But
Kasi
yeah,
yung
15 per hour, right?
20 kapag online.
Okay, so there are what offline games there.
Pa 15 yung offline.
So,
Pero
mhm.
trinay ko po yung 20. Doon ko na-discover ang Y8.
Oh yeah, Y8 for kids. Yeah, I also
Unang laro.
uh,
Unang laro ko pa na hotdog bush. Yung nagluluto ng hotdog. Masaya. Hanggang ngayon nilalaro ko pa rin po.
really so cute. Okay, thank you, Sir Eugene. Wow, that was a different experience, right? Or encounter with computer that was enjoyable, explorative, right? In my case, I played Gunbound Philippines. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's like you're going to throw bomb to another part of that. I don't know, like Sierra Madre. Okay, how about Sir Van? How's your experience?
Ako ma'am nung una kasi, parang mga grade 2 po ako nun. Meron kaming parang computer lab do'n. Tapos akala ko dati yung computer pang ano lang siya, pang paint tapos yung pinball na laro. Kasi yun lang yung pinapagamit sa amin nung 'pag nagko-computer lab po, gawa-gawa ng shape-shape.
Mhm.
Kaya akala ko hanggang dun lang yung computer pang paint-paint lang tapos yung pinball. Yun lang.
Okay, okay, great, great. Well, that you're too young. Okay, well, compared to the generation now, right? As young as 1 year old, they can touch anything on their smartphones, right? And can interact with the computer. So yeah, so the software inside a computer is not limited to, of course, the pinball. I also played pinball, right? And the paint. Okay, I think for adults they love solitaire. I think that another pre-installed game, right? Thank you for sharing your wow, I think varied, right, experiences and feeling, right, toward the computer, right, when we first encounter them. And we frequently gather around major technical shifts, right, about some transition, and really with a whirlwind of anxieties to some, enjoyment for Sir Eugene and also maybe for you, Sir Van. Right? So, and in the early days of the phone, right, we asked whether the computers might be used to connect with the deceased. Who among you, right, have seen Kim Kardashian's IG post? If you know Kim Kardashian, the sister of the Jenners. Okay, why? Why did I ask that? Because her husband, Kanye, okay, gave her a gift of hologram of Kim's father. Right, it feels surreal. Right? Why? Because the father was there standing, of course, hologram, but yeah, with clothes and whole body, and he was, giving message. He was giving message to the family. When I read the comments, some viewed it as, cryptic, okay, because again, he's a deceased person, but for the family, it was very emotional, it was very touching. So imagine this right question, if it's really possible to connect with, of course, that's not literally connecting with the deceased, but allowing at least the presence of the deceased to communicate, right? Even though, it's programmed, it's simulated, and instead, right, it's the mobile that's got people jittery nowadays. So sometimes you ask yourself, or that's is the reason we call them smartphone? Is that because it's smarter than us, right? So our iPhones or smartphones making us stupid, lazy, even narcissistic or antisocial, given that we call them social media platforms, right, to socialize, but the way some of us treat it is for to focus on ourselves, to present ourselves the best possible we can, right? And this term, computer phobia, has appeared in journals, articles, instruction guides, even just like that, a magazine. Okay, and who knows, right? Maybe even in advertisement text. Okay, or yeah, for those who are devoted as well, right? Tech phobias in your organization or your institution that can warm up to the PC after that. And okay, one ad also said that, and in the 1980s, knowing how to use a computer was far more like playing a musical instrument. That was mentioned by a journalist, and this term also involved concerns of destroying the computer, right? That's why you had that feeling I might destroy this if I wrongly clicked, right? At least one, command, for instance, sometimes because you feel like you are losing strength or you become weak, or sometimes you feel like you're out of control if everything is being crazy inside the computer. I remember with my old laptop, it's Acer, okay, because it was already full, it lagged all the time, and uh, I always had that moments with Cray. I call him Cray Cray. I put names into it. Okay, I call him Cray Cray, and there were a lot of moments that he's just all popping windows at the same time. It's like someone's clicking, right? All the commands there at the same time, and of course, it's just the malfunctioning of it because it's already full and the processor cannot really contain everything there because if I'm not mistaken, it's only quad core and 500 gig of ROM, right? And this term, computer phobia, is a natural reaction. It's normal to feel it to something unfamiliar, especially that's the reason I asked for your first encounter, right? First experience with an actual computer. And let's not forget that you are in charge and it's still not the computer. So in this case, this is an Ngram. So I also use Ngram. You may also use Ngram if you are curious about which term or which word or who, for instance, that if that's a person, uh, is most widely used or mentioned across all Google Books. So in this case, there's no comparison of another term. It's just right how often computer phobia, right, was mentioned in books over a 65-year period. So what some people didn't yet understand it, the 1980s here, that's the start, right? It was that learning to use a computer was much more like taking up again a musical instrument. So it was the boom of this idea, computer phobia, and then last time or last year that it's mentioned is during the 2015. Okay, so in this case, you may also be curious about it. For example, you'd like to compare cope up with or cope with, so which is mostly used across all Google Books. So you may compare that. You may type Ngram, letter N, and then Gram Viewer. Who among you are familiar with this? I started using this year 2015. No one? Okay, so again, if you're curious about yeah, idiomatic expression, a person, right? You just have to, however, it's only on the browser of Google, you have to type Ngram Viewer. So for comparison, okay? So as we continue, right, ICT here is an umbrella term and consists of technical means used to handle information and aid communication, right? That's why we have information and communication, including computer, that's where technology enters, including computer network, hardware, communication middleware, as well as necessary software. So in other words, right, it encompasses our radio, television at home, right, even the fixed and cellular phones or the landline phones, right? Even computer networks, satellite systems, Wi-Fi, and so on, as well as the various services and applications associated with them. So ICT is also refers to the study of the technologies used in the processing of knowledge that enables communication. It allows, data to be sent to another system, right? It's send exchanging of data, not only literally like literal message through Messenger, for instance, but no, it's beyond that. For instance, if you know an IT professional or a programmer, they use codes, right, in order to send data to a specific uh, for example, in an HTML form and then upload it, and then definitely it will create a different command inside the computer. And this may be used to evaluate, discuss, and share latest knowledge on present potential developments. And it's also interlinked globally and accelerates the cycle of globalization. It's what undoubtedly, right, nowadays it's really prevalent, right? It's like if By the way, we're going to look at some statistics later on, okay, when we proceed to the next slides. And you'll realize that it's not anymore that stats, that even though there's no graphical, right, or visual representation of the stats, you can say that now, if we're going to compare, right, these stats today, you can say like 90% or 100% are really into these gadgets. So this figure shows us the mobile cellular subscriptions by level of development. Okay, so this is only until 2011. So during 2000, there is a total of 719 million, okay, cell phone subscriptions. 2005, 2.2 billion. And 2011, total of 6 billion. And just imagine now, right, that even the young generation, right, acquires mobile cellular subscription or phones. And here, okay, another figure from global ICT development, again from 2001 to 11, you can see, right, the mobile cellular telephone subscriptions has had the highest number. Okay, and internet users second, and fixed telephone lines. So just telephone, just landline without your Wi-Fi, and then we have active broadband, mobile broadband subscriptions. Okay, but now, right, you can say it's beyond this. Okay, and fixed wired, here it's still wired broadband connections, right? But now we have Wi-Fi connection. So you can also see here examples of ICT enabled solutions. Let us just, you may zoom it in, but let us just enumerate these examples. We use ICT in agriculture, right? Food, health, emergency response. If you have seen the ad, I think the video ad of our university, okay, there will be an upcoming webinar about it. I think it's a webinar about disaster resilience or disaster risk reduction management, so you may want to join that. And by the way, you are also encouraged, before I forget, okay, you're also encouraged to at least watch, maybe later at your free time, okay, the freshman orientation as well as the general assembly. Okay, I assume you're well aware of that, but that's the reason we have our class today is that you are not first year students, but there are so many things that have changed in the university that we need to be aware of, right? So it's important that you watch. Okay, there will be an evaluation form there, I think all throughout the afternoon it's available there. So to continue, we have examples of ICT enabled solutions in water and energy, right? Definitely banking and insurance. Who among you used what, mobile banking, or uses mobile banking? You have your savings account and then you just use the mobile app, or you use Gcash to save. You may do that as well. In our case, like with my friends, we utilize this KKB feature of Gcash. So every month, right, you will assign a certain amount and you can equally divide it or split it, depending on the need, and you can save. Like I can say that we were able to serve during the pandemic. So Eugene has that. How about the others? Right, mobile banking is very prominent now. You don't need literally to go to a bank, right, just for you to deposit and withdraw. It's just mobile transfer. Okay, there's also one, job, right? Okay, and also, right, education, right? There's no doubt, right? We use ICT enabled solutions in education. Some elements are even purchased, right? Management systems are even purchased by certain universities to maximize its full potential, the best features. Okay, may I ask if you are enjoying the license account of Microsoft Office packages and other services there? Can I ask for, may I ask for how react? For those who are enjoying, have you signed in your POP webmail through your MS Word, MS PowerPoint, Excel? Anyone? No, you haven't? You may utilize that. That's your privilege as a scholar ng bayan. There's no one? Why? I sent you the link, right, last time to activate it. I hope you because you are assigned right? A certain PP webmail, and in that case, right, you have the license. You can enjoy the license packages from Microsoft. Okay, and we have also used ICT solutions in government services in crowd voicing. So in addition, right, computer as ICT, or computers and ICT are different from, when we say chalk is from cheese, and then came the internet and the rules of the game changed. So for instance, earlier you mentioned about the limited softwares that you are familiar with a computer, but you realize now it's beyond that. It's even sometimes what I mean, maybe scary to some of you, or overwhelming, or sometimes intimidating, right? Because of the fast-paced, changing of these advancement, and definitely the prices of PCs, right, came crashing down, right? Why? Because we mostly use what, laptops and smartphones, iPad and tablets, even Chromebooks, right? And its applications zoomed up, especially now all applications are what, maximized by all educational institutions. Okay, some are free of charge, right, and some are what, purchased. And ICT is the latest in a long line of developments in computer science. It's the current state of the art in computer engineering, which is based on developments in software. And now we even have AI. Later on, you'll know more about artificial intelligence. And this ICT is an effort to describe the application of emerging technologies to support us, right? People, students, companies, schools, organizations, and communication is significant in the field of ICT because, again, it relates to the exchange of data over distance. So even if you are there sitting, you can talk to someone very far from you. You can send files, right, to the people you are not, physically with, right? So it's easy to. Earlier, right? I think some of you encountered problem in terms of, right, sending files. So again, I hope you're able to read my last message that you still need to turn them in to be assessed, but for the proof of you accomplishing it before the time, right, before the deadline, okay, you may submit your files to our G class work, right, I mean to my email rather, earlygalan@gmail.com, and yeah, attach your screenshot of when did you finish it, and of course your files. So in that case, it also means that ICT includes all new devices. Now we have iPhone 12 that looks like a combination of 4S, 5S, right, because of the finish, but of course integration of iPhone 11 Pro Max, I think. So in that case, we have continuous innovation for Android users. What's the recent, yeah, the latest version of Android? Is it Oreo? Anyone who's an Android user? Is it Oreo? I think the last time I used Android was it's still gingerbread.
Oreo.
Oreo now, right? Okay, so we have Oreo for that.
10.
iOS 14 for iPhones, right? We have i7 and beyond processor for laptops. Okay, and yeah, netbooks now turned into Chromebooks. Are you familiar with Chromebooks? When you give me like react, so Chromebooks are really designated for Google, right, services. So it's mostly used by young learners in a private institution. Well, in some cases, I mean, I know one, a student in America. Is he's a third grader, and he uses Chromebook. It limits, however, it limits, right, the user to access other websites because it's designated for all the Chrome applications and services. So we also have smartphones now, right? Before, have you experienced the keypad phone, and then you're searching, and then the browser looks like there's a globe that's rotating on the lower left? Can you give me haha react if you experience the same? Okay, I experienced that, and that time internet was for free, right? It was free of charge. Okay, thank you, Sir Van. I don't feel too old. Okay, some can relate to me. So in that case, I had my Nokia phone, and right? Even when it comes to the exchange of data, we had before infrared. Were you able to experience infrared before Bluetooth, or it's just me? So with the Nokia phone, there is like a sensor, right, on the side that you literally need, right, to connect, right, or to place one phone right beside the other, literally, right, for you to send files, and they are simply, low end graphics, right? Simply text that you see, but again, internet was free of charge that time. How about like year 2014, 2015? I also experienced and enjoyed internet access. I already acquired for a 5S phone, iPhone that time, and familiar with the VPN, the private network. Okay, nowadays it's just merely, I mean, the sole purpose of that is not for free internet access, but it's for, your access to applications that are blocked in one specific country for you to access them. Who among you are using VPN, the private networks? Okay, but that time that I was talking about, year 2014 to 2015, I used VPN to have free internet access. Okay, uh, I didn't need load or credit. I also didn't need to connect to Wi-Fi. In that case, I just turned it on. However, I was so excited. I was glad, but still, I enjoyed it for several months, literally months, not just a month. But then I was so excited that I also would like my students to use the application and enjoy the, and then like afterward, after sharing the application and they enjoy it, it works for them. Now, at that time, I lost my connection. I can't connect. I can't use it anymore because I shared it to everybody in the class. So, I mean, to all my classes, I shared it to help them as well, right? So they don't need to, you know, uh, buy load or prepaid promo, for instance. So in that case, yeah, I enjoy that, the free internet access. But now, again, the sole purpose of that is for you to utilize applications or even, yeah, software is definitely websites that you aren't allowed to go to. For instance, recently, majority of my students are into Thai series, and it's like I don't know, it's a GMMTV or GMTV, and I think the YouTube channel, okay, was now limited or blocked, right, to be accessed in the Philippines. That's why I know someone who uses VPN just to connect to that. So in this case, okay, so even computer engineering is primarily concerned with computing science, architecture, and implementation. While basic computer technology is a must for ICT students, or yeah, IT students or IT professionals, and its reach is restricted to the knowledge of devices that store, download, manipulate, and distribute information electronically. Okay, so these are some uses of ICTs for learning and distance education. It is now widely mentioned in the development circles, right? And appears to be progressively so. And its advances in technology and usually its associated knowledge generally acknowledged by everybody, regardless of age, regardless of your position in life, your career status, and technologies are providing innovative new possibilities for distance education distribution, just like what we have now. Okay, which will also include an impact on schooling policies in developed countries, definitely in developing countries like the Philippines, and under certain conditions or circumstances, distance education schemes or paradigms, which recently depended primarily on the mailing of written materials before, even though until now we do that, right? The mailing, the delivery of your modules, that's an example. Okay, and videos, recordings, radio or TV broadcasting by DepEd TV, and other YouTube educational videos, right? It can be improved or supplemented by modern internet resources. So teachers nowadays, including me, I allow my students to watch videos. I send them recordings of lessons, and yeah. So those are possible resources and helpful resources for further understanding of a certain topic. And In this case, those modern internet resources and technology capable, software really transform the learning environment nowadays. Even the way we played earlier, right? The way you submit your files, the way you explore these different apps, right? They will really be helpful for you in the future, even now. And these are some technological benefits of technological developments through the internet and world wide web, right? We can't deny the fact that everything, every question that we are looking for answer for is, I mean, can be found or one click away, right? To some, when a person was asked, I mean, a student of mine was asked, like, do you think you're not smarter than a smartphone? You think smartphones are smarter than you? And then she said she admitted that there are so many things that the computer knows than she knows, right? Well, these data, right, inside a computer, these information inside a computer are also what programmed by humans. So we can say, in my case, right, they're still from humans. So every program, right, for us, later we'll talk about that computer as a tool. Okay, and through the internet, new and enlarged sources of information and knowledge offer, teachers and students opportunities for self-development. That's why we have what we call self-directed learning or utagogy, as well as benefits from incorporation into classroom environments. Who among you enjoy, or maybe really not enjoy, but have you utilized your privilege as scholar ng bayan to access our online library? Now among you have explored the ILS? Can you give me a like, react? And also that will help your, thesis writing journey. Why? Because we even have their username and password for ProQuest. So you just have to go there and browse. And then at the bottom, you will see the username and password, right? As PUPN, you can use the information to sign in to ProQuest. ProQuest also is an online library where you can find journal articles that can help you with your chapter 2 or all chapters in your thesis. May I ask if you already have your thesis or writing course? Sir Van, have you had, uh, do you have that now?
This college, ma'am.
This year?
Ah, parang isa, ma'am, may isa yan. Limang
Thesis
pwede lang.
writing? Or maybe next?
Pero parang hindi pa yun yung pinaka-thesis.
Ah, okay, okay. So, maybe that's because of the revision of the curriculum, right, in the college. So, another benefit of technological development is through email and other internet related feedback mechanisms. It's so easy to receive messages from people. There's so many freeware software, right? Freeware apps that you may use that creates greater opportunity for us to reduce the isolation. However, people still, especially this pandemic, right? People still feel isolated. Sometimes they are hesitant to talk, especially if it's virtual environment. Sometimes you, or before or pre-pandemic, you're into really talking because you love talking physically, but then because of the pandemic, you try to isolate yourself. But again, the idea of this is for you to not feel isolated and, receive feedback, immediate feedback as possible, even through, mini reactions on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, right? All the social media platforms have immediate feedback that can actually create, any feeling, right, or any reaction from the you know the account owner, right, or the user. And through extraordinary pace of software development, so it enriched teaching and learning with enhanced graphics, unlike before, just like what Sir Van mentioned about paint, right? It's simply like that, shapes, lines, right, box, you can crop even or copy and paste image there. But now we have enhanced graphics. By the way, in my presentation I use Canva from the very beginning of this semester. I love Canva so much. I use it, right? But to as I explore and as I use it, like during the first meeting, I tried to present it using the Canva itself. However, Canva app uses internet connection or Wi-Fi. So I noticed that during the Zoom conference, at the same time the Canva app is being presented, I noticed that it lags a lot. So there were times before, I don't know if that was with you, I use a PDF because it lags. Okay, so what I did, these are my tips if you love Canva also and you use it. Okay, what I do right now to present it, I'm using PowerPoint. So from Canva, I save it as PNG. So it's like a photo album. It's like a folder of photos now, high quality photos. I save it as PDF for backup as well, and I save it as PowerPoint. So in this case, okay, if you're going to look at the PowerPoint version now, you will notice that some or majority of the fonts aren't embedded on PowerPoint, meaning it's not available. The font from Canva is not available in PowerPoint. So what I do, uh, from the PNG, I copy and paste the image here. And I noticed that it's not anymore, I don't know, it's not anymore a thing for us to use transitions or animations, right? So in my case, it's fine. It's just one click as long as you don't, what, overwhelm your slide. And we can't really say that it's not time consuming, because I mean, compared to writing on manila papers or cartooling or creating your vision, it's the same, right? Especially if you really take a lot of time, right? You really would like to present the best presentation possible. It also eats time. So who among you can I ask for hard react if you also use Canva for your outputs? For instance, last time, right, for someone used Canva for the bubble mind up style. Okay, Sir Van uses Canva. Joe, who else? Okay, so you may use this in all presentations. I mean, they have default templates there for even your Instagram post, Facebook post, brochure, poster, like all sorts, right? They all have default templates and great designs. So now I purchased the license one, so I can use it also in our breakout session that you may experience using Canva later. We'll go there. Okay, so other benefits through lowering telecommunications bandwidth costs and emergence of enhanced cable. But yeah, that is one. But you can say that yes, majority of the people can afford it now. But still, it depends on the speed, right? It depends on the speed that will determine the cost of your bandwidth, right? So in this case, wireless, right, or Wi-Fi and satellite systems provide greater opportunities for basic access, video conferencing like this, Zoom, through MS Teams, through Google Meet, online interactive learning, and live interaction with the central place of distance education program. Also through community access schemes, right? So it is more potential to make the benefits of distance education eventually available to lower income people in rural communities. So even, right, even those who are living in the provinces, yeah, they still can connect to the internet. Okay, this is a matrix, or it's simply a table of computers and LAN or local area networks when we still use them before. So the trend, right, high operating speeds, lower cost of memory. So if you still have a personal desktop there at your house, kindly check the gig, right? You may see the gig or the memory. Well, it depends now if you are into gaming, but if you're referring to the the old versions, the old operating systems, you will notice that it will only give you 2 gig, right? And that's really not fast compared to what we have now. Okay, so the impact, pictures, graphics, and powerful software packages can be used economically. So not all, right, graphics are really enhanced, but basic just by opening it. But now, it depends on what version now you're using. So make sure to update. However, if you always update, right, your processor may not be in mobile phone or laptop, you'll notice that it eats also your internal memory, right? Even, yeah, of course, your ROM. Okay, and distance education can just harness ever improving graphics capabilities to improve interest and acceptability to learners. Talking about majority of the learners now are visual learners. If you will also notice, I'm more into to graphics or visual, right? Pictures, still pictures, or GIF, and all these. Why? Because I consider that majority are visual learners. So instead of but we really have to analyze each, right, as we present each material to the student. So next, yeah, PC development and marketing. There's a rapid pace of development that will make more previous generation equipment available to education establishment, which we can attest to at the moment, right? And which can afford their own. But now, right? I mean, yeah, we have a lot of free learning management system. If you are also familiar with Canvas, Canvas is a learning management system used by private institution like De La Salle. They use it. It's free of charge and it's comprehensive. Everything you need is there. However, I noticed that the graphics are simple, are plain and simple, but when it comes to all features, they're really for education. They're really for teachers. And okay, so impact more equipment availability at marginal cost. This may not be ideal in a rapid paced developed country environment, but could be significant at startup level in developing countries. So for the software, we have enhanced educational software that integrates several elements seamlessly. So there are so many, for example, just the pre-installed, sometimes you have to purchase the Microsoft Office packages, right? And offers learners, teachers, and administrators control over the learning environment, results, and records. Who among you have watched Love Rosie? Familiar with that movie? Can I get a hard react if you're familiar with Love Rosie film? Okay, in one scene of the film, the two best friends, the lead characters, they were inside a computer room where classmates are there and a professor was there, and they were sending messages. They were exchanging messages to each other that definitely weren't relevant to the discussion. Okay, it's about the personal life of the best friend, and then of course, right, just like what it says here, right, admin or teachers, right, has teachers have the control over the learning environment, and the professor there, right, presented the professor caught them, and then he presented on the screen, on the board, right, their discussion or their conversation. So in that case, maybe you also experience that in a computer subject, and you might not know, right, that your conversations are really what's saved. In this case, in the Zoom app, for your information, chat also is saved, right? Audio is also saved, but private conversations aren't, unless those private chats are for me, so I can read everything there. So in this case, impact more effectively moderated and controlled distance education and learning programs are possible. All learning programs provided by different universities, even websites for free online courses are accessible now to all of us. Okay, so we have here the standards and the operating system. Okay, so we will talk about the internet. So the trend, it's becoming ubiquitous as a service in urban and suburban areas of at least, and becoming available, right, in rural areas through various access strategies and technologies. So even our government or agency, if you're familiar with the People Connect. That's the spelling PIPOL and then KONEK. People Connect, uh, project by project of DICT for public internet access or Wi-Fi access across the country. But you can say, "Mom, it's not reliable." I mean, I try to connect, but right, it's not so reliable. And for the impact, online distance education techniques are available to more and more students and lifelong learners. All of these, you just have to explore. Let's not be afraid to take risks, right? So from time to time, given that this is a TTL2 course, right, from time to time, I try my best to present to you a different software every meeting that you may explore, so they may also be usable and feasible for your teaching what career in the future. So website technology, web-based learning becoming widespread, right? Now you can even you can easily, not really easily, but you can seamlessly, right, enroll in an online course. Even you can learn, you can study in Harvard if you like, right? You can earn an international certificate. Who among you is familiar with Future Learn? Anyone? Future Learn. It's a website of available courses as early as now, since you're a third year, right? Do not let pandemic steal away your opportunity to attend webinars or trainings or even online courses. So I suggest you may go to Future Learn, and then you may enroll. You may find a course there, a free course. Please search for a free course because some courses need payment, right, for them to give you certificate. But uh, there are a lot of free online courses there. I think I already acquired two certificates from, because all of those courses are sponsored by different international or known universities. So in that case, just look for a topic that interests you or definitely relevant to your field of specialization. Okay, well, in that case, because that's for our may I mean, you may focus on professional education, right? If that is more, I mean, use and discuss in the platform, and go. You have to scroll down because you have to check if it will give you certificate, right? For, I mean, free of charge. So sometimes the second option requires payment, so you have to pay just to get certificate. But if your main purpose also is for, personal growth, right, even professional growth, but even without certificate, you may explore these, right? They will give you, your assessment scores. You will have tests afterward, like your summative test, and you can even know your score. So explore that. Even Coursera. Familiar with that? Coursera. It's also like Future Learn. Okay, so usually one course takes like 1 week at the very least to some months or really several weeks to finish. So you may do it same pace or you may be late. It's fine. For example, ma'am, it already started, but you may start with week one. Okay, so those are some possible, websites that can help you with your professional growth, and you have to really fill in, right? Or in Filipino, busugin mo yung CV mo or resume, right? Also for your future application. Okay, next, low price internet devices nowadays, right? uh, Before we can only purchase, like, if you have 1,000 peso or 1,000 pesos, you will notice that you can only purchase a keypad phone, right? Even not a smartphone. But now, right, smartphones are, being so rampant and varied, given all these brands, right, from different countries, and you just have to explore. Let's not have our, mentality in terms of looking at the brand itself, but focus on the performance, right? Some of you, especially I think men, or okay, I should say, um, men and women as well, are into really searching about the features instead of simply the brand, right? You focus on what it offers rather than at the name that it stands for. So to some, I have a fellow faculty, an IT teacher, IT professor, and he's more into Windows rather than Mac. So even if I suggest, because for him, or for some, I can stand for majority, but for some IT professionals, right, they can do more in a Windows, right, OS instead of Mac. But to some as well, for example, in business world, for fast paced, seamless. For me, well, it depends on the user about your experience. But for me, it's more seamless on Mac because, AirDrop, you don't need to even use share it for you to send file. But that's also one opportunity for Apple or for Mac to send files to a Windows or Android user, using share it. But we also have AirDrop, very seamless. Like, all of your gadgets can be connected and synced. So easy to sync files. So Well, it depends on the processor. If you're using i7, right, you're using Windows, wow, that's a lot, okay? And SSD instead of simply hard drive or HDD. And we have growth of e-commerce, right? But everything now is purchased online, sold online for the Shopeaholic people there, okay, the Lazada people there. So internet will become increasingly essential to households and communities and will finance both the internet access devices and even public access kiosks, even in a fast food chain. You don't need really to pay, right? Cash, right? They have kiosks there in McDonald's or Jollibee. I haven't seen one, but in McDonald's they have kiosks, right, where you can order. So there's no need for another crew, right? Maybe you experience that. You're in line, you stand in line, and then a crew member asks for your order, and then writes it down, right? But now you have kiosks, and then now it's not anymore. It's like someone. I think there is a meme that it's like a raffle draw, right? Because you're waiting for your order. Just like I think, um, you know, KFC has that before McDonald's, right? But to some, for the McDonald's lovers, they they think it's some kind of funny, right? I mean, waiting for your order, waiting for the number, right? It's like you won the raffle, right? Or a lottery. Okay, so here the internet also provides better integrated media learning tools will be available through IP systems, lower cost and greater affordability of all of the long distance communications components of distance education is impact and more seamless integrated learning packages and human interface possible. So all these learning packages are available whether free or purchased. Another telecommunications. So here we have broadband systems that provide our over-air video and data that add two-way features to traditional TV broadcast. So among you use smart TV or you don't have smart TV but you make it smart using a smart box. Can you give me heart react if you're using a smart box or you really have or you acquire a smart TV in this case, right? During this time, okay, Ma'am Nadeline has that at home, right? You really don't need to purchase a smart TV. You just have to purchase a smart box so you can turn your old or non-smart TV into a smart TV, and y it makes your TV like a computer, right? Or like a smartphone with all these available apps. You can watch Netflix there. You can search YouTube, and YouTube became the TV now, right? The TV channel now, right? For majority in the urban places, right? Unlike before, TV is just TV. I mean, you have channels there, and you have limited channels as well. But now you can browse anything. Okay, so that became the means of entertainment. So let's talk about. Let me echo some infographics provided by uh, Rex, for instance. Right? So we'll start from 2017, then we go to 2018. Right? So it talks about ICT improving Philippine education. That's the title. So ICT will have an effect on student learning as teachers become technologically literate and appreciate how they should be incorporated into the curriculum. So teachers, let's not be afraid, right, to explore, to click anything, to try out these software. Okay, and our schools use a broad variety of ICT resources to interact, develop, disseminate info, store information, and maintain the content as well. We even have the privilege for if you are using your Outlook mail or your web mail, you have 1 terabyte privilege provided by the university. So throughout certain ways, ICT has often been an important part of the teaching learning process, right? And engagement. And through way of strategies such as, we replace chalkboards with immersive digital whiteboards or interactive whiteboards. Well, we don't have that in the university. It's just whiteboard. But in other private schools or definitely in outside the Philippines, they use interactive whiteboards. It looked like later I'll show you that, but it looked like the you can present there the Microsoft Word and they can interact with it. The young learners can go to the interactive whiteboard and then draw things on that. And throughout these ways, right, you may utilize students' own smartphones as well and other learning tools during class time. Pre-pandemic, when we were still in the university, eh, for my classes who do not have projector, what I ask them to do is to have share it with them. For the for the iPhone users, they just need to of course turn on their AirDrop. But yeah, instead of asking them to rent for a projector, given that it's also costly, what I ask them to do is bring out their phones. I will send a file to them. Sometimes beforehand I send the files to them, and right, seamlessly we can interact. I don't need to present mine. They have it right on their hand, very near to their face. It's not a problem for those who are seated at the back because it's on their phone. Right? There's no problem with having poor eyesight, and they can scroll it. They can follow my our discussion by scrolling their phones. Okay, so I also have that rule that if it's needed in a certain class activity or ask them to bring out their phones, well, gadgets are allowed. However, pre-pandemic as well in public schools, secondary, definitely also basic, I mean primary, but for secondary, schools do not allow not just use, right, but bring phones, right? Bring phones to the school. So that's what my sister was following that time, and unless they were asked, right, to bring, example, they need to take to have photojournalism and they need to take pictures there. So that's the only time that she brought her phone. So in this case, right, even the flipped classroom paradigm where students view computer-based lessons at home, so beforehand, you're given the materials and use classroom time for more engaging activities. So it's not anymore for too much discussion in the classroom, right? But it's more of reading beforehand. However, the setback of that is not all students have the initiative or take the initiative, right, to read. Can you give me haha react if you experience that your teacher already gave you the material, but then you didn't read and you wait for the teacher to discuss it? Give me haha. Okay, thank you for your honesty. Right? So usually, okay, we have that. Right? So instead of reading the pre-assigned materials, we wait for the teacher. Why? Because this maybe we think that our understanding of it will not be enough, right? Given that it will also be discussed in the classroom, maybe you have that notion. And if you, right, teachers are technologically literate and qualified to use ICT in the room, these strategies will definitely contribute to higher level thinking skills. So from analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So it's not anymore what about the lots or lower order thinking skills, which are remembering, right, understanding, and applying. So it also offers innovative and individualized incentives for students to communicate their comprehension, right? So in this case, it depends on the teacher on what incentive you will give, right? But definitely innovative and enable students, right? These resources enable students to be better positioned to cope with rapid technical change in society and the workforce. So majority of the students are thankful. Some don't realize it yet. I understand why. Okay, but maybe it's the hesitance, right? They're hesitant to really interact with these technological advancement, but to some they appreciate it. They appreciate doing these assessment activities, just like one of you said earlier, right? That you have to appreciate the overwhelming I can use the term overwhelming assessment activities now, right, given our situation, our flex style environment, because okay, that will because that will really benefit you. I mean, these things will benefit you in the future. When you start teaching, you realize that, oh, I hope or I assume that I took everything seriously, or I didn't hold back, right, with that, or I didn't complain, right? I mean, complaining is normal, it's natural, right? But you can't tell it's hard unless you try, right? That's the only time you can say it's, because that's always the notion of our students, right? When you announce a project or requirement, and then everybody will say, "Mom, it's hard," and then right, and then normally I will ask them the question first: Have you started? Have you tried? Then they will say, "No, mom, not yet." So how do you say it's hard, right? So you can only say it's hard once you've tried, okay? Once you expose yourself to the material. So in this case, yeah, appreciate that. Why? Because again, another reason is that when you become teachers, you will be overwhelmed again with teacher requirements, forms, right? So in that case, it will be an easy busy for you because you're used to it. Okay, so ICT issue planner should address assessing the total cost benefit calculation, supplying and sustaining the appropriate services, and ensuring the funding is balanced with teacher training and other initiatives directed at successful usage of ICT. And it's not new to us that teachers, you know, have wide range of opportunities for trainings, workshops, webinars, right, to improve their teaching, even assessment strategies. So this is an infographic by Rex Bookstore. Okay, to continue, it shows the frequency of internet use. Okay, again, year 2017, huh? So you can really compare it to the frequency now just by observing. So here, they reported half of internet users go online every day. Mhm. Now you can say what 99%, right? Go online every day, especially if you're going to look at the number of students, workers, right? The digital natives, right? We can say from 2017 to 2020, it's higher than half. So one third go online at least once a week, but less than daily. One sixth go online at least once, but less than four times every month. And one tenth go online less than once a month. So it's a big change, right, of the stats here. Another, on the other end, spectrum. Okay, they presented 10 top 10 countries in the world with high internet connection speed. But let me just present 2017 top country. It's South Korea. So 26.1 Mbps. Now, the least is what? A 10 Mbps for Wi-Fi connection. Okay, and the Philippine internet speed has the slowest internet speed in the world, 4.5. Again, this is year 2017. So in the fourth quarter of no, 2016, the average global connection speed is 7.2 Mbps. So again, we can subscribe to a 10 Mbps now. The Philippines is also lagging behind most countries in the world in mathematics and science education. You've heard about the PISA results, right? That's also the reason there is not really, yeah, initiative as well, and really strict implementation of English as mode of instruction. So third, from the bottom of the list in the IEA's TIMSS in 1999, ahead of only Morocco and South Africa. Again, third from the bottom in 2003, better than only Morocco and Tunisia. Fifth from the bottom, always from the bottom. So these data show a positive correlation between a country's information and communications technology access and its quality of education. Many teachers, that's the usual notion whenever I attend webinars. Many teachers say that yes, we can have effective and seamless, right, teaching learning process even in the virtual classroom if and only if students and teachers and even parents are equipped, right, with the hardware, with the gadgets, with the software, and with fast internet connection. And not just fast, but stable internet connection. That's possible. However, right now, right, we know for just for instance, right, even the the cause of natural phenomenon, right, the typhoon, even affects that. So countries with demonstrated high quality of learning in subjects such as math and science have higher ranks in technological readiness and faster internet speeds. Another article, this is now dated 2018, by the ASEAN Post team about improving education in the Philippines. Okay, they said that the Philippines dropped a total of 10 places this year, that year, 2018, to 55th, earning an overall score of only 42.11 out of 100 points. Imagine. In 2017, Philippines was placed 45th. Okay, and now to 55th, 2018. So, in order to understand how the Philippines experienced such a huge drop in ranking, it's important also to look at what the study uses for indicators or as indicators. So, the World Talent Ranking looks at three main factors. They look at development, investment, and development factor, appeal factor, and readiness factor. For investment and development factor, it measures resources used to cultivate homegrown human capital. So the appeal factor evaluates the extent to which a country attracts and retains foreign and local talent. And the readiness factor, which looks at the quality of skills and competencies of a country's labor force. So I can say right now, right, experiencing the graduates of senior high school, the K to 12 is a good thing for me. All right, especially in terms of the advancement of the cognitive skills of my students. I noticed that yeah, literally, if I'm going to compare, right, the products of senior high school to those who aren't, I can say that you advance, right, on that state. And yeah, I mean, 2 additional years are really good for the students. And while a simple example of the investment and development factor would be whether a country is able to provide education to its citizens, the readiness factor seems to indicate that it's also important to look at the quality of education, right, provided by our country. And this is according to the study where countries like the Philippines fall short. So as you notice here, in this IMD World Talent Ranking 2018 for Asia, right? Well, many countries dropped the ranking. However, we had the high number of what falling short on this part. So 10, right, drop here. For Taiwan, only 4. China, they increased 1. Okay, Hong Kong, they dropped 6. India, 2. They retain for Singapore, retain for Thailand. For Malaysia, they increased. They moved to what 20. Okay, 28, 22. Indonesia, 2. Okay, so another, yeah, this is now the Industrial Revolution that talks about transforming industries and innovation. Before, right, we had, of course, Industry 1.0, then 2.0, 3.0, now 4.0, the Internet of Things. Let's look at 4.0. We have autonomous robots now. Robots with free will, robots that can realize or identify your feeling just by your facial expression. These are the robots I'm mentioning are from Japan. Even in our country, right? Many, even in senior high school, they have this elective robotics. However, students need to be financially ready also about that because of the expense. And yeah, big data now, right? We just like recently, because I will also be asking you to reflect in on a different media, so it's more of video now instead of simply typing on the Padlet board. And one student of mine told me, "Ma'am, my file was so large that it can't be uploaded." So, well, there are also third-party websites or apps that can even reduce the file size. But if that's tedious for you, right, you may simply send it to the stream of our Google Classroom. That's one, right? That's one evidence that it requires a big data now. And yes, augmented reality. We are presented. Sometimes you are being deceived. Maybe not sometimes, but all the time. Can you give me haha react if you have seen this post on Facebook where a lady was beside a man, right? And she told their love story in the caption, telling the people, telling or deceiving or maybe just if it's a joke, right? Or deceiving the public that the man beside her is an old man. Okay, so Sir Van saw that. So if you also notice from the very beginning, right, of looking at the face, right? If you're familiar, of course, with Face App, you will know it's from Face App, right? But given the story told, right? Yeah, at first you might really be deceived, and then later on in you of course you check the comment section, and then there are even proofs, right? There are even pictures there that the man is not really an old man, same age with the girl. So in that case, really pictures can really be edited. And even, I mean, not majority, but many influencers, especially in the United States, they use Facetune, right? Familiar with Facetune, that you can even make your body so sexy with a perfect shape. You can change your weight using that without even looking fake, right? That's the power of Facetune. So that's augmented reality. It presents as a reality that is, that has a lot of setbacks, right, and loopholes, right? So you really have to analyze each material you see online. You don't simply believe it, right? So later, I will show you an example. Okay, and simulation, right? You don't need to really experience it firsthand just for you to know it's possible for you to fly a plane, right? For simulation, or even with your life, with our lives, right? Who among you had played Adorable Home? I experienced that. Or maybe now you're into Among Us. Who among you are playing Among Us? Okay, can you give me heart react for that? Okay. So, Irvan, how about the others? Okay, Among Us or The Sims, Joel also. Okay, right? And Jomar, right? And all these simulation apps where you create your own family, right? Even with the Face app, I admit, right, that during the trend of Face app, I even made a family of my future with my own face. Like, I don't know if you've seen that. I posted my story. I enjoyed it. I was having fun, right? Until, I don't know, yeah, until people say that, yeah, it can also be used as invasion of privacy, or your face can be used, right? I mean, even not through Face app, right? Even your normal Facebook account, you can have poster, right? So in that case, you simulate everything. You create your own family, your future partner, the family of your partner, right? You create your own house and all. Another is system integration, Internet of Things, as cybersecurity also is at risk, right? Cloud computing. So everything can be backed up now. In my case, if you're wondering, so I only have 128 ROM, 128 gig, so I need an external. I use my external hard drive to back up everything, especially for the recording of the videos. Okay, and additive manufacturing. So we receive this average, okay, rating. 35% of core skills will change between 2015 and 2020. Look at this comparison. So we have here top 10 skills in 2015 and now in 2020. Imagine how this 10th skill, which is creativity in 2015, now ranks third in 2020. So that also proves that yes, it's definitely the highest level of thinking skill, right? So complex still the same for top one skill. Critical thinking now second, right? Before uh, fourth. Okay. Creativity is now third. People management is now fourth. Coordinating with others is fifth before it's second. Emotional intelligence is top six, and it's not even in top 10, right? It's so important now, right? That people are emotionally intelligent, that you can be aware of your emotions, because definitely your emotions can affect your performance, right? Especially for teachers or for students also, right? You need to be in the moment. You have to be aware of what you feel. You have to identify what you feel, and then later on, be able to overcome it or face it. So, seven skill here, judgment and decision making. Okay, and Okay, service orientation 8, negotiation 9. And look at number 10 now, cognitive flexibility. So it's beyond thinking, right? It should be beyond thinking anymore. It's not, it's more of, again, your performance. So when we prepare this one, preparing the Filipino workforce, and with all these changes happening in the world, we are, preparing our future leaders. You are the future leaders, right, to be able to navigate through the challenges and opportunities offered by the fourth industrial revolution. So as you notice here, we have top 10 industries with the most number of jobs. 2015, huh? Call center. We can say that until now, right? BPO industry. For retail, 29. Many already transported into retail industry, right? In 2020. Manufacturing production, 20K. Property, 18. Construction, 12. For food, 11 in 2015, right? How about now, given that, well, everything is, well, it can also be in what, can be delivered online, okay, can be ordered online. Banking and financial services, computer, okay, or software, still it's in trend. Okay, advertising, marketing, and promotion. So, yeah, that's the question. Where are we focusing our efforts today? Right? Or are we preparing our workers and students for the biggest shift of the decade? Can you take a stance on that? Anyone in the class? Would you like to share your insight or at least observation of what's happening now? Right? Are we preparing our future leaders, right, or the next generation to be able to navigate through the challenges, right, to face the challenges and opportunities offered by the fourth industrial revolution? Are we preparing them? Do you think our curriculum, right, is eyeing for that? Anyone? Sir Van, can you give me number 1 to 5? 3. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Ma'am Natalie, you may unmute if you're there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Would you like to share with us your observation? Okay, of what's happening. Like, you may answer the question: are we preparing the next generation, right, to face the challenges and opportunities offered by 4.0 revolution? Or you may answer the question: are we preparing our workers and students for the biggest shift, right, of this 4.0 revolution? Ma'am, you may unmute. So just based on your observation of what's happening, of how are we preparing, right, the Filipino workforce, the generation now, is there really education to employment, right? Given that we have K to 12 curriculum. Let me try another. 3, 1, 2.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
I cannot talk properly, ma'am. No,
it's okay. What are you feeling? Because you're the one who feels sick today.
ma'am, I cannot talk because my mouth is not
Okay.
really in good condition, ma'am. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
You may type your answer in the chat, so I can echo it. Okay, so you may type. Also, if you're not cold, you may type your answers in the chat so we can exchange ideas. How about Ma'am Claire? Sorry. Do you think we are preparing the next generation for this,
Hello,
fast?
ma'am. Ano
Yes.
po? Ma'am, pakiulit nga po ng tanong kasi putol-putol po sa akin.
Okay, sorry. Do you think we are preparing our future leaders or the next generation, right, to face the challenges and opportunities offered by this 4.0 revolution?
Ma'am, para sa akin po, parang hindi pa po siya sapat yung ganitong nangyayari po. Kasi katulad po ngayon is pandemic po. Parang, paano ba 'to ipaliwanag? Ayun po, parang hindi pa po siya sapat na parang gano'n po. Ayun ma'am, hindi ko mapaliwanag ng maayos.
I get that. Thank you, Ma'am Claire. So let me start from your answer. I can say yes, right? I agree to what you have observed. Why? Given that grade 12 has work immersion, right? They're supposed to be in the field. But again, because of the pandemic, right? Sadly, we're offering the best, workplace experience for them, but not literally for them to be exposed physically in the offices, agencies, and different companies they would like to be at the moment. Yeah. So I understand that. Yeah, I agree. So given the crisis, okay, we can say that well this really creates right a big gap in terms of in terms of preparing these uh, future leaders in the future. But aside from that, I can say also that you know the organizations agencies are really doing their best. Okay, so just by the notion that we didn't have the academic we don't have the academic phrase now, right? I think that's one effort, right, that we exert today. So, who among you voted or signed the petition for academic freeze in the website change.org? That was before the class starts. Anyone? It's okay to be honest. Yeah, so, okay, there's one. How about the others? You've seen that. But again, that's only a petition, right? And even our agency, right? Even DepEd provided or CHED, should I say, right? Or released, right? A message to the public that whoever wants really to petition it, right, should conduct research and submit it to the agency. So in that case, maybe for you it sounds it doesn't sound so serious. Why? Because you know that they still have the last words, right? And at the same time, that research cannot be done overnight, right? So you even need to gather enough data to prove that you need it, right? But of course, your clamors or concerns are being accommodated and considered, so don't you worry about that. For example, one prominent concern is the gadget or the availability of, right, because that's usually the case, the clamor.
Alert from System UI server. Low battery.
We don't have enough, right, gadgets to supply. Some even private organizations are the ones, or private groups, right, are the ones who conduct these drives just for them to to disseminate tablets to these students. But again, it's not enough. So okay, yeah, in that case, yeah, that's one thing, one reason you like academic freeze, as well as what different dispositions, right? Imagine domestic situation of all students. We have different environments, right? Some of my students can't unmute because it's loud at home, right? And they can't ask these people or even their neighbor to zip their mouth or minimize the noise, right? So there are many factors, and I heard you on that part, right? So we need to also be considerate as teachers, that even teachers are not all teachers are equipped, right? So I really feel, uh, you know, uh, I feel sympathetic as well, or empathetic with my fellow teachers, especially the old teachers, right? So I appreciate also when they ask me. I appreciate that when they ask for help from me, like tech related, concerns, or which option is the best thing to impose in the classroom. Should they meet physically? Of course, I said no to that. Should they just send emails, their files through email? Yes, I suggest that. So something like that. Okay, another, the Filipino learner. Okay, so in this case, right, we are talking about the foundations of our future, and with learners being the foundation of our future, right? How are we preparing our students, okay, teachers and schools for a future that is guaranteed to change? Are we like this, right? Are we allowing them to go to the next level? Are we guiding them enough? Right? Are we there to answer their queries? Are we making ourselves available, right, to these? Or it's not just the teachers, but even schools, right? So are we preparing, right, our schools to guarantee change? So success potential, right? The question is acquisition of knowledge and skills enough to effectively bring out the success potential of each learner? Anyone? Sir Van, would you like to answer the question? Do you think acquisition of knowledge and skills, what do you think it's enough to effectively bring out the success potential of each learner?
Ano ma'am, for me it really depends po dun sa estudyante mismo. Kasi po kahit anong gawing, encouragement, kahit anong gawing offer ni teacher sa mga kumbaga ito na, kukunin mo na lang itong mga
Mm-hmm.
skill set or mga bagay na puwede mong magamit, depende pa rin kung magte-take ng risky student or ano po, kung talagang kumbaga, ina-absorb niya ng todo or talagang parang dumadaan lang.
Yeah, correct. So there is no but application in the part. So correct. Merely acquiring these knowledge, right, or information and skills will really not be enough. Right? They need to apply it. They need to explore it. Not only explain it by words, but really put it into action. Apply it, right? And experience the changes. So thank you, Sir Van. Another is long-term development. So are we designing curriculum, assessment, and instruction with the long-term development of each learner in mind? I think I should be the one to answer this question, given that we teachers, we are also considered curricularists, and we have designed curriculum. We have created our own modules. We have created our own syllabi, and we even, you know, put our best effort to be creative and put variety into our assessments and instruction. And yes, we have that long-term development of each learner in our mind. So even from time to time, we need to revise the entire curriculum, right, for each program, for instance. And there is a need for collaboration, right, among our colleagues. Okay, another is meaningful, relevant, and action-driven learning. So the question is, are we designing learning opportunities to involve not just teachers, but other stakeholders of learning for a more meaningful, relevant, and action-driven learning experiences? So we need to, right, allow them to be part. So even in our university, we ask the community stakeholders, parents, even, barangay officials to be part, or even local government unit officials to be part of the decision making in designing the vision, mission, objectives, or um, uh, even just by holding, right, a certain event or program or extension activity. So in that case, yes, we design learning opportunities depending on the needs. However, this will be the question of many, right? Yeah, teachers are definitely curriculum implementers, but not all the time. If you're going to, yeah, a broad view of the curriculum, for example, K-12 curriculum, right? Not all these actual curriculum implementers, I refer to the teachers who just initiate, right, the K-12 curriculum, are not the same persons who design them, right? So you will notice that it's really it will create a gap, right? It will create a gap if the designer, for example, right, for example, your lesson plan, let's not look at the big picture, but for example, a lesson plan, you're the one who designs the lesson plan. Definitely you know everything about it, right? And you have the control over it, and you are also the one who implements it, right? So in that case, it's a smooth flow, right? And maybe not so smooth because you can also integrate modification because that's your work and you know it by heart, you know it, right? However, what if someone designs your LP? Okay, someone designs your LP, it's not you, and you're the one who implements it, right? It will not be that smooth. You even need that person to explain everything what happened there before you implement it. Do you agree? Right? So in that case, looking now at the bigger picture, right? These teachers are not the ones who design, right? That's why, right, during the implementation of K to 12, you notice, or maybe you've heard, right, that teachers or they were hesitant. They didn't like, literally, right? They did not all of them like the idea of K to 12 curriculum. Why? Because they know their learners, right? They know that not all these learners can really adapt and adjust to the level of difficulty given by the curriculum, right? You know that when they discuss this topic, it will be so hard for the student to acquire it, right? Because of that. But again, with the help of the great implementers, the teachers in the field from basic to higher education, right? They help these learners to advance because we are using spiral curriculum now, right? So, for example, just number and sentence sequence across all levels, but the level of difficulty changes as they advance to the next grade level or year level. So, that's the idea. Okay. So, in that case, that is what I appreciate now. For example, being in the college, and why? Because we design, right, our own learning opportunities depending on, we design it depending on what is needed, right, by the student, what will be beneficial for them to use or to experience in the classroom. So to proceed, graduates who are less familiar with digital culture are at a disadvantage in the national and global economy. Why? Right? Because yeah, we need to be familiar with everything now. And digital literacy is the skills of searching for, discerning, and producing information, as well as the critical use of new media for full participation in society. That's why we have the term hypermedia. It's not only one media that you present to your learners, but definitely all possible uh, media source or platform or means. And in many countries, digital literacy is being built through the incorporation of ICT, as you notice here, right? Very, tech savvy on the softwares. They're communicating with the this one for, yeah, students in a computer, right? In a computer lab, if you notice, it's still not 1:1 ratio in our country, right? Even here, right? Even their exchange of, right, of information or ideas are being done through gadgets, right? Even though they're already physically together, they still use new media to present materials. And these are some educational applications of ICT. We have here one laptop per child, which is not okay implemented in the Philippines, but in this country, you may also search for the website. It's one laptop per child website. They they produce or they provide less costly laptops that have been designed for use in school on a one-to-one basis. Imagine that. So we pray that we can also do this in the Philippines. And tablets, right? Tablets are lightweight or iPad, right? Touchscreen personal computers that require input without a keyboard or mouse, but Shopee would like you to purchase or gives you the opportunity as well to purchase a keyboard or mouse for seamless typing, right? Because to some it's still you're still not comfortable. Thank you for the reaction, Serva. And for typing, so right, if that's more affordable than laptop, you can purchase tablet with keyboard and mouse. We have Bluetooth keyboard on Shopee. Wow, this is not sponsored, don't worry. Okay, so it provides also cheap learning apps that can be transferred on laptops, making them a powerful learning resource. Another is an interactive whiteboards or smart boards. This was the one I was talking about earlier. Okay, and student participation is usually stronger as ICT is accessible for usage by students in the classroom like this. So we didn't have this in public schools. We don't have that. Okay, next we have e-readers. Who among you love e-books or audiobooks? Can you give me heart? React. Do you listen to audiobook more than you read them? Actually, that's very helpful for young learners, for those who can read fast and well. They may You may go to, I'm using this Epic. There's a website called Epic, and it's simply like an online classroom library style for reading. So there are materials for viewing, materials that say read to me. So the students don't need to read it; they just need to listen to it, and they can answer quiz afterward. And that's also used in America. And here we have ebooks or e-readers. So if you're not into reading or you like to chill, right? But you also would like to expose yourself. I hope you're doing well with your 500-hour English exposure. Okay, so you may use audiobooks. They are free of charge. You may download them, install them in your phone, and download a certain PDF. I may suggest pdfdrive.com. Who among you are familiar with that? I discovered that years ago, and I love it because you can download many free books across all disciplines for education, for just novels and all. So please take note of that pdfdrive.com. So you may save it as ebook for Kindle if you have Kindle, right? Which is the most popular, best overall, best waterproof, best for audiobooks material. So it's Amazon Kindle. Okay, it's like this. It's like a tablet. It's a tablet literally, but for merely for the purpose of reading. So the brightness is not that high, so it will not hurt your eyes. Another is a flipped classroom. So what is a flipped classroom? As you noticed here before, students prepare to participate in class activities. Just like earlier I told you that computer-based lessons are provided beforehand and the students need to study it. And then during the class, inside the classroom, students practice applying key concepts with feedback so they now exchange what they've studied and afterward. So students check their understanding and extend their learning. Okay, so it's in the traditional style of instruction, teachers present a lesson of students and then assign classwork or homework, right? But the definition of a classroom is the reverse, right, of the traditional method. So this consists of students completing direct instruction, such as viewing a lecture online. That's what you're doing prior to the in-class discussion of the material. That's why all of these are also in the IM. However, to some I just added set.
Ay, nako.
Okay, and by doing so, students are better able to focus on participating in class and receive feedback on their efforts during their lesson. In our case, you receive feedback, and teachers even receive feedback from you from your reflection activities. You receive feedback whenever you turn in your assessment. You receive feedback even while you are presenting here in the virtual classroom. So teachers that utilize a flipped classroom model are better able to help their students to engage in active learning, right? Because they ought to know things. However, now, just like what I said, it's more of self-directed learning, right? Thinking that students really are learning by themselves, sometimes checking. I can say that I've witnessed one checking, okay, their own works at the same time recording their own scores. Okay, and that's an experience of a public grade 11 public high school student. Okay, flexible is also a flexible learning environment where one of the hallmarks of the flip learning classroom, right, is that it provides fluid timelines for student work and comprehension, and you teachers should just simply adjust to the pace of your students in class. And the learning culture is also a highlight of the flipped classroom because you can foster a rich environment that allows your students to delve further into topics, right, and provides them with opportunities for self-reflection and hands-on activities. So in our case, we use Padlet board, we use self-assessment activities in the Google Classroom, right, and you even create your own output in coordination also, right, and with integration of the current topics. It also has intentional content because you decide ahead of time what direct instruction to pair with in-class activities, and you can schedule, right. I know a fellow faculty member who uses Facebook as LMS, and I salute him for right for balancing that because it's so hard. I told him that him or her, I told the person that I mean, for me, easier can be MS Teams or Google Classroom, right? But in his case, he allows students to submit everything on Facebook, and the setback, yes, you may schedule, but the setback is when you turn in. There's really no, about the feedback when you turn in the feedback to the students. So students should feel challenged but able to understand the material on their own. So we have to consider inclusivity, right? These are definitely real considerations that we need to consider as we teach in the Flexel environment. Digital divide, right? In all webinars I've attended, especially relevant to prof ed or assessment strategies, right? Or even just by teaching strategies. This is a normal question, right? I even once asked this question, like, what can you do? What's the best intervention if the learners don't have gadgets, they don't have internet connection? Okay, that's even before knowing that we have this flexile environment, a flexile mode of learning, right? Where you will I mean, it depends on your preference that you will provided modules that until now you don't have it. But thank you for understanding and for your patience. So this relates to the differences in traditional advertising and internet connectivity. So even your stable internet connection that divides everyone, right? So for now we are only 13. Wow. Earlier we're 11, so we're now 13 in the room, and not everyone has stable internet connection. To some of you, I am also glitching. So the global gap generates and strengthens the socioeconomic inequality of the world's poorest man. Another consideration is minority language groups. Why? Because your students use mother tongue, right? From aside from their official language of learning, that are less likely to have computers and internet access at home. Another is students with different styles of learning. So I assume you have FLCT course. May I ask for like React if you have facilitating learner centered teaching course? Okay, great. Thank you, Claire. So right? In that course, you learned about different styles of learning thinking styles, multiple intelligences, even learners' exceptionalities or these learning disorders that need to be considered. So you can't simply jump into a conclusion that mahina ang isang bata, right? You have to consider the need and why is he behaving like that. Okay. So in this case, yeah, we have now these programs that are normally installed or pre-installed in an ordinary modern PC. We have, of course, Windows for Windows, okay, and Mac for Apple devices or MacBook. Okay, application software. We have the usually again just like what I said. Usually it's pre-installed. It depends on how much your laptop costs. But the sound you need to purchase a package of this, a license package, and we even have antivirus. So I learned from an IT professional that it's better that you only have one antivirus software, not many. Okay, because even having many antivirus softwares in your computer can create maybe bugs or problem. So just install one. Okay, we have programming software, right, for programmers or IT professionals. Also, we have freeware, right? These are, type of software that anyone can download from the internet and use for free. So Yahoo Messenger, if that's still a thing, Messenger, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, okay, and well, normally installed, you can simply install many of the mobile applications have now what desktop version, right? Vice versa, right? It's not anymore a matter of, well, we still have that option, but before we still need to click, right? For example, you are on a phone and it presented you the desktop version, and there is an option of mobile view, right? But now they even created, you know, certain, for example, MS Teams, right? Instead of just using it in a browser, you can install MS Teams app, Zoom app, right? And you can use it as bookmarks there. Shareware, we have Bear Share, Share It, and AirDrop, and other sharing or shareware software that are usually distributed for free on a trial basis. But these aren't for trial basis. You can use it. These are installed there. You know, before, who among you experienced buying a Bluetooth dongle for your desktop just for it to have Bluetooth feature on your desktop? We had that before. So I think until now, if people are still using a desktop or personal computers, they need to buy Bluetooth dongle because there's no pre-installed Bluetooth on their desktop. And registry cleaner. So I use this and I also uninstalled it because CC cleaner cleans everything, even your signing up process. So you need to re-enter your password, your username, and for me that's inconvenient. So I tried using that, and it's also the one that is recommended by many. But if you like for easy, right, signing up, everything is saved also in your browser, save password. You can even not think of your password. The browser will create a password for you, and you just have to press the key symbol, and you have access to all passwords that you have for a certain website. So we also have content control software. So it allows you to control the content that can be accessed by a user or a computer. So if you know someone who is an IT expert and you're having a problem with your PC, you may install this kind of app or software so they can view, right? So in this case, sometimes you already have this because it's already installed there, but to some they use the third party app for them to see what you're doing inside your computer. Next, we have project management software, utility software. These are programs that help in the management of your hardware and the application software. We have disk cleaners for this. We also have Android, okay, the open source software, openoffice.org, and then browsers. We use Google Chrome, okay, Mozilla Firefox. Who used Opera Mini before, right? I think it was the trend before, Opera Mini for the keypad. Yeah, for the keypad phone. And Safari for Mac and Internet Explorer. Okay, we also have essential Windows software programs for any PC. Make sure you have browser. Yes, Sir Joel? Would you like to share? Are you there?
Ako ma'am, gumagamit po ako ma'am noon ng Opera Mini. Yung
Okay.
parang dun rin po ako nakakapag-search. Grade 10 ko po nalaman yung Opera Mini. Kasi po yung cellphone ko nun, di keypad pa lang.
Okay, yeah, correct, right? And you can also direct download, right? You can direct
Opo ma'am.
download.
Tsaka ma'am, siya, mababa yung cost ng niya, ng data noon sa
Mm.
Opera Mini.
But now you don't use it anymore. You use Google Chrome.
Hindi, hindi na po ma'am.
What's your browser on your phone? Is it Google Chrome?
Google Chrome.
Okay, because the some
Google
smartphones now, yeah, when you buy them, for instance, I bought my mom's phone. It's Realme. Yeah, it's Realme, and okay, and there are a lot of pre-installed software on the smartphone now, right? So you don't need to install everything. So thank you, sir. Okay, another, yeah, your antivirus. Make sure you have that. Malware scanner, backup program. Make sure you have. In my case, I just use the pre-installed Time Machine and Mac. And to some, you also have. You can also what create partition. Who among you uses partition of your disk? So for example, your disk C, and then you add another partition disk D. So you can divide, right, the your files into two memories. Okay, thank you, Sir Van. And password manager, just like what I said, and on the browser we already have that. And of course, PDF reader. I think it's the most common, right? That you need to most common software that you need to have in your PC, right? To read files that you have. Okay, now the computer as a tutor tool or tutor. So the computer, right, or the application of computers to education involves a variety of dynamic tasks, daunting in their evident complexity, and it's very particular among many who are the same technical experts and educators. So computer as a tutor may be configured by experts in programming and in this area. So they already program it so it can teach, just like the epic that I mentioned earlier. It can teach the students by itself. There's no need for the presence literally of the teacher there. So the pupil is then tutored by a computer running the program. So even your apps, your mobile apps that teach you how to speak in English, to speak another language, that is the function of computer as a tutor. And the computer can quickly adapt the analysis to fit a broad variety of your differences or your learners' differences. And tutor mode usually takes several hours of professional research to deliver 1 hour of successful tutoring. It depends if you really would like to create one. I know one. I have a fellow faculty member who's specializing on dyscalculia, and he created an application designed for Filipino students. The graphics are so cute, the characters are cute, and each level the you will be greeted with a native language in different provinces. It's like you are a Boy Scout and Girl Scout there. So I don't want to preempt, but yeah, that's the idea of his application. So that again is an example of computer as a tutor that refers to addressing the kids or the young learners who have learning disabilities in terms of mathematics. So okay, you may create a lesson to be delivered by a human tutor that requires less time because it omits much of the detail. So computers are still relatively crude devices. Also, that only means we have programming them, sometimes awkward, sometimes time consuming. Even when you create online quizzes, ready, that's one, right? Or you create the pacing, the right pacing interaction between the app or the lesson, right? So usually you have timer, right? You have a time limit, right, to finish one activity. That is one example. So human instruction rarely aims to accommodate individual differences because the normal classroom situation prohibits such accommodation. So computer as tool, right? In order for it to act as a tool, the computer needs just any useful capability programmed in it. So you just use all the features. You are the one controlling it. And several tools have been developed in the fields of business, research, industry, government, and other applications. So using a computer as a tutor and tool will enhance and expand our classroom teaching learning experience, definitely learning experience, and neither a student nor the teacher has to know a lot about computers, right? You don't need sorry, you don't need an IT expert. You don't need to be an IT expert for you to know these things, right? So in my case, even though that's my frustration because that's my first choice, I always feel I have these moments of feeling literally kilig whenever I discover things by myself. Okay, last time, because this hard drive that I'm using right now, it was the hard drive from my laptop, and then I just bought an enclosure, of course, from Shopee, and it's really not, you can simply use it to send files from a Mac. So what I do, I just watch a YouTube video, and then I was able to back it up with Time Machine, and I felt, the self fulfilling feeling there, right? That you achieve that literally, that the feeling I felt was kilig. I don't know, but that's what I felt. I felt so kilig when I discovered it. So in that case, you don't need, as a teacher, you don't need to be very well known or expert in the IT field. So around the same measure, however, even neither the tutor or nor tool made, right, provides any of the general education advantage correlated with the usage of a third mode computer. So computer as a 2D, to use a computer as a 2D is to teach a computer. You are the one teaching the computer. In order to do so, you will learn to program it to talk to a computer in a language it understands, and there are also advantages. such as because you can teach what you don't understand, right? So the human tutor will learn what he or she is trying to teach the computer. One experience here is when, who among you have tried that? When you don't like typing on Microsoft Word and then you use the audio, right? The voice command there. So you just have to read everything there and it types for you. Who among you has used that? I used that when I created the modules. So at some point you need to review it because not all of your words or speech, right? Not all the words are read properly or heard properly. Who among you have used that? You may try that. Okay, so for example, you don't like typing, right? And you want to, but you have to review it if it typed correctly for you. Okay, so there are so many things that you need to explore after this from the things I shared. So you may do that, the voice command. Okay, and second, by trying to realize broad teaching goals through software constructed from the narrow capabilities of computer logic, you, the human, should you should learn something both about how computers work and how his or her own thinking works. So for you to navigate it, to instruct it what to do. And third, you even have this command prompt for immediate commands to your computer. And third, because no expensive pre-designed tutor software is necessary, no time is lost, right, searching for such software, and no money spent, okay, or will be spent. So the computer as a teacher's tool, it keeps learning connected to experience. So you can think or search for possible, helpful, right, learning opportunities or experiences, software activities from the net. It's so easy from your computer. It also provides access to the underlying disciplines of subjects. You are not limited because, for instance, you are only using book as a resource. You notice that it can't give you beyond that. But here, you can present everything. My way of presenting, I don't know if that's also your manner whenever you present in your class. Okay, but my way of presenting is, and this is also what I shared to my students that they need to practice. When you found, for example, you are assigned a topic, when you found a source for your topic, and then okay, you shouldn't be satisfied with that source. Okay, I suggest that you also look for other sources. For example, the first source that you found gave you 5 elements and the other gave you 10. You have to present all, you have to present both, right? And then just cite the source, the reference. So you are giving everything to your learners, you are giving everything to your classmates. Okay, so you don't limit them with 5 because there are 10 more. Okay, only from a different source or author. So, okay, this is the computer and reality. This is an example of augmented reality, of course, through the use of HoloLens, or in our case, we have our VR, right? That's the virtual reality. Okay, so you can feel like you are in a game. You feel like it's true. Who among you have watched the episode of, I think it's America's Got Talent, where one of the judges was asked to volunteer because he has, I think, phobia, in terms he has fear of heights, I think, and this environment allowed him to experience it, right, on stage. But for him, he felt that it felt surreal, right? For him, it felt surreal that he was able to overcome it. He was able to overcome his fear of heights because there was an augmented reality character there, or a person, okay, that who was near falling the cliff. So he needed to save the augmented reality there. So in that case, they presented that. I mean, I think they were partners there, and they presented that not only for the sake of an act, but if I'm not mistaken, they were psychologists, and that that instrument or that technology is for the purpose of you know for intervention for those who are suffering from phobias or any other things, because they can even change the augmented reality experience or environment. How among you have watched that? It's the judge who's bald. I forgot his name, but I think it's AGT. So okay, so in that case, it doesn't only, impress the viewers, right, for the sake of, an act, but it helps the people who are suffering from phobias. Okay, so let us watch this before we proceed to our activity. Okay, did you appreciate that, teachers? Okay, may I ask for one learning insight or takeaway you get from the video? Right, maybe one prominent thing is the Truman Show. I also watched the film and just imagine really if there's really Truman Show, right, or the Truman person in the country, right, where people are watching the person, everything is simulated from birth to adulthood. Okay, anyone? By the way, thank you for your information in the chat. Yes, we have now Android 11, right? Dated September 2020, Android 11. So it's from Cupcake to now Android 11. Okay, anyone? Before we end, by the way, I will also have here, okay, breakout session. So since we don't have enough time, this will just be presented next meeting. So I already created breakout rooms here. I will just, so you will be grouped into 4. You might ask me, ma'am, how about those who aren't here? Can we adopt them? Yes, you may adopt them as members. So you have here Canva link. This is my account. So you have your Canva link. You will create infographic by answering the question. Okay, so your answer will be in the form of infographic. So you may take a screenshot of this, okay, and this one. So I will also send this to our Google Classroom. And please also answer the reflection pilot board. This time it's more of the form of video. So you can just click film, right? Film now as the option when you post something here and then directly record yourself. Okay, so one person to echo? Yes, Sir Van. How about Sir Joel, since you're so active in the chat about Train Simulator in Minecraft? Are you there?
Hello po.
Hello, yeah. Can you share us your takeaway?
Doon po ma'am sa doon po ma'am sa pinanood nating
Mm-hmm.
TEDx, TED video.
Mm-hmm.
Tayo po ay parang naninirahan na sa isang mundo ng virtual reality. Kung saan ang mga hindi natin nakikitang bagay ay pwede na nating makita sa isang madaling paraan. Kumbaga, halimbawa, nakikita natin yung mga nabubuhay na dinosaur pag meron tayong may mga gadgets tayo na may features na augmented reality, ganun. Parang ang nagiging makatotohanan na po yung mga bagay na dati ay nakikita natin sa mga libro lang. Dahil nga po sa umiiral na yung ganitong mga technology, na visualize na natin ng tama yung mga images na nakikita po natin, ganun.
Correct. Thank you for that, right? Imagine we're living in a world of simulation. I mean, given all these, really advanced that you can't even fathom how they're able to create these virtual environments. Okay, thank you so much for your participation. Again, I will just send the list, right, of the members of the breakout session, and you will present them next meeting. Okay, please turn on your video so we can take screenshot before you take your lunch or brunch. Okay, thank you for joining us and for staying. Please don't forget the reflection part here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, God bless you all. See you. So next meeting is asynchronous class week. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.